Yesterday, I told a kind of parable about choosing our energy sources. And in that little story, where I didn't use any trigger terms that might affect, well, conservatives or more progressive people, I just talked about how if a government could choose between investing in a source of energy that was sustainable, cleaner, and cheaper and more reliable over a source of energy that was the opposite of all of those things, it would be completely irresponsible not to do so. But here we are. And today I want to get into specifics. And if you saw the title of this video today on our Live for Five, it is pivoting from Point Lepreau to cheaper, better, cleaner, more consistent, that's not all in the title, forms of energy. And that is really where we are right now. Now, if you'll just stay with me, I want to talk about Point Lepreau, which is, of course, New Brunswick's nuclear generating station. Did you know, because I was recently years old when I found this out, that there are only two nuclear generating stations in all of Canada? One is in Ontario, close to where I used to live, just outside the GTA, which, of course, is about 6 million people just in that area. 7 million people. It's always expanding. I used to drive past it when I was driving from Toronto to Ottawa. Uh, and the other nuclear station is in, say it with me now, New Brunswick. New Brunswick, with a population of 750,000 people, are bearing the cost of a nuclear generating station that, since it was built and commissioned in the 80s, has not been operating anywhere near capacity. Now, in order for nuclear energy to be profitable or even pay for itself, it needs to be generating upwards of 90%. That's according to the World Nuclear Association. But our nuclear plant here in New Brunswick has been plagued by problems. In the first 10-ish years, it was operating at around 93%. All was well. And then the problems began. And in its lifetime, since then, since the 80s, it has been operating at around 72%. Well, just this year, it was shut down because of a problem. It was supposed to be 100 days of maintenance, and it has been months and months, to the point that the latest update on the status of the generator would be to maybe turn it on in November. But as of right now, the problem has not been found, and this has cost $71 million for this refurbishment and growing. Now, the plant in its history went all the way up to 2008. It was essentially decommissioned in 2008 till 2012 for a full refurbishment. And since that time, the Energy and Utility Board deemed the plant not worth refurbishing. They said that, again, the 750,000 people of this province uh, would not be able to bear the cost of getting this plant up and back online. Well, the government actually vetoed the EUB's recommendation to decommission the plant. And so, if you are wondering why your energy bills continue to go up, your electricity bill continues to go up, that is largely because NB Power is now asking, just this earlier this year, they asked for a 19% raise on your electricity bill. And of course, much of that is going towards the $71 million of the nuclear plant sitting there inoperable as they search for a fix. So here we have energy bills going up, $5 billion of NB Power's debt. Yes, there are $5 billion in debt as a utility. 3/4 of that is directly on account of the nuclear power generation plant, Point Lepreau. I hope you're getting an idea here of how this is extremely expensive. The EUB said it's not worth using, not worth pursuing, not worth refurbishing, and it is costing us ratepayers because there's huge amounts of debt, and it is shut down. And so, for example, when it went down in the 90s, that meant that we had to go to Quebec for our energy, purchase power, electricity from Quebec at the rate of $450,000 per day. And this was a 75-day shutdown. Nuclear power, we all wish it would work. We see the movies. Hey, cold fusion, we all want it. It's awesome. It generates a lot of power when it works, but it just doesn't work. So this is why Greens are saying, let me give you a rosy picture. If in 2020 or 2021, if in that kind of budget year, our government invested in, say, wind energy or cleaner, sustainable kinds of energy, wind or solar, if they invested in the infrastructure for 2,000 megawatts of power generated and 900 megawatts of storage, because again, there's rumors, oh, what if the wind stops blowing or the sun stops shining or something like that? Just like any other power source, there are storage facilities. And so essentially you generate the power, say 2,000 megawatts, 900 megawatts of storage. If the government had taken that investment just 3-4 years ago, if we could turn back time, sing the song with me now, here's the result. We wouldn't have to burn any fossil fuels at all to provide for our energy needs. That would be the first benefit. Second benefit would be power would cost $100 million less. Yes, your bill might have actually gone down. And third, our pollution would be 99% less. And so that is the result of clean energy, the kind of clean energy that a green government wants to invest in. The alternative is, again, 19% raise over 2 years. The EUB has cut it down to something like 6% this year. They're going to assess next year. Nuclear power plant might not be online, etc., etc. We continue to plow money and debt into an energy source that is unproven, has never been reliable, when the solution is right there at our fingertips. If that's the kind of change you want, you need to vote for it, because previous governments, back and forth, just shifting the chairs around, is getting us these kind of poor decisions. And anytime you see that increase on your hydro bill, your electricity bill, your bill from NB Power, I want you to think about this. This is one of the reasons. There are many, but this is one more reason to vote green on October 21st. I will be the MLA that advocates for green power and making sensible solutions about our energy sources. Thanks for joining me today.